Today I thought we'd try making an inductor out of one of these. This is a sewing machine bobbin, and they're only a few pennies. So yeah, rather a very convenient, very inexpensive form for an inductor. Here is my version of it in the virtual world right there. So the bobbin specs, this is a Singer bobbin. It's plastic, the metal will not work. The specs are, it's 8 millimeters across this way, it's 7 millimeters long, and the total bobbin is 20.5 millimeters this way. The wire I'm going to use is 31 AWG, American wire gauge. It's roughly 0.23 millimeters. And the calculator I'm going to use is this really excellent calculator. It's right here at this website. I don't have the intellectual property rights for this, so I'm not going to show you their page, but this is the result of what comes out of it. The stuff in red is what I have to enter in order to get the results. So let's just start here and go through it. The inductance we want is 512 microhenries, and it's the top of the AM band, so that we can add some capacitance, or we can change the inductance to move down in the band. The coil inner diameter, as we mentioned over here, is 8 millimeters. We enter that. Coil length is 7 millimeters, again from here. And the wire gauge is from up here. And then we push the calculate button, and it comes back and tells us very conveniently that it will take 247 turns. Now, yes, I hate counting turns, and I usually forget where I am and have to start over. So we're going to find a way to get around that. The turns per layer, so there's going to be 28.12 turns per layer. So yes, this is a multi-layer coil. There's going to be roughly 9 layers, and the outer diameter when we're done from here to here will be 12.48 millimeters, which will fit inside of our 20.5 millimeter spool. That's a good thing to know. The wire diameter, I don't know why they tell me it's a little bit different, because I entered this and they told me this, so I hope this is not a problem. It should not be. We can compensate by adding more wire or taking wire off, but we'll see. And here is how we're going to get around counting the turns. And we know that we need 7.71 meters of wire to do this, so we'll cut off about 8 meters of wire. We'll wind it, and then we'll remove any that we don't need. And then finally, the DC resistance of the whole setup of all these parameters is 3.31 ohms. So not too terrible. Okay, so nothing to it but to do it. Let's go to the workbench. For tools and materials, we're going to need our wire. So we have our 31 AWG wire, and another source of it is this old transformer right here, same size wire. We're going to need our bobbin, which is right there. And then we're going to need a flathead screw and a nut. So we're going to put that through here, and it will look like that. And then we will mount that inside of the chuck of our variable speed coil winder. Yeah, that's what this is. It may look like a drill, but this is a highly specialized tool. Okay, it's just a plain old Makita drill, but it's going to become a specialized tool in our hands, and we're going to chuck that up in here like this, and then we will very carefully wind the roughly 8 meters of wire around here. Now, let me zoom in again. I'm thinking about using what they call a scatter winding, where you go back and forth like this kind of randomly to create the winding, rather than just the beautiful winding where you go back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, the random pattern is supposed to produce something that's more like a basket weave and has lower capacitance and so forth. So yeah, I think that's the way I'm leaning right now. Okay, so to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find an 8 meter long stretch in the house somewhere, and I am going to put a weight out there, a nice flat weight that won't tumble around, and I'm thinking about using this. And I will attach the 8 meters of wire on one end to this and put the other end here and start turning it and allow this to be dragged across the nice smooth floor to give me some resistance. Yeah, I don't want something tumbling along, so if I try to use something like this and it starts to tumble, it'll make a mess. So this is about the best thing I have found. Yeah, so right now the next step is we need to go measure out the wire, find our flat space, and chuck this bobbin up and start pulling wire. So here we are downstairs. Turns out that 8 meters is 24 feet, and I don't have one room that's that long, so I'm spanning 2 rooms. Way over there is the speaker with the wire on it, and here is our drill with our bobbin on it, and there's no way I'm going to be able to hold this up, but I've got it fed through here, and what I'm going to do is just kind of go back and forth like this and try to get it on there in a random pattern. And you can watch the speaker coming towards us, trying to avoid bulges or buildup on one end. And don't want to break this wire. My fingers are getting a little tacky. I'm really tempted to squeeze the trigger and just let this thing really go, but oops, I'm getting a low spot. Gonna work on that. And you can see our little speaker is right there on the verge. So I'm going to go up there and meet it rather than jerk it over the edge. Whoa. Jumped over the... Okay, and now I need to get some tape and put it on there so that it doesn't unspool itself. Here we have our coil all wound. I put a piece of tape on it. I actually drilled a hole in the other end so I could feed it through there and it wouldn't come ripping off of there. Got to remove our core out of here. It will affect the readings. We got our meter here, and I got it zeroed out in theory. So let's see what we got for actual readings. I scraped the wire, the insulation off the ends of the wire, and there we go. Don't know, I think this thing's kind of getting flaky. Maybe it'd be time for a new one. Anyway, about 351 microhenries. Take my calculator here off the side. 351 divided by 512, which was our target. And then, okay, ratio, so we're about 30% short, times the original 8 meters. So we need about another 2.5 meters on here. Okay, well, I got to solder this on here and then do a little bit more winding, okay? Be back in a minute. So there should be a little better view than what we had earlier. And there we go. Okay, now let's close off the end and measure again. Well, ain't that a bear. 2 meters got me 626.8 microhenries. I'm starting to wonder about this thing because it ain't acting right. I'm going to peel off, I don't know, start peeling off like a meter or something, half a meter. I guess probably it'd be smarter to do half a meter at a time and keep remeasuring and then See if I can't zoom in on the 512 microhenries that we're looking for. Well, here we are. I got it down to 519.7 microhenries. I'm not going to shoot for 512. I'm not going to press my luck anymore. So why am I doing this? Well, this will oscillate at the 1700 kilohertz end of the AM band, and it would be really good if I could add some other components and turn this into a very small crystal radio. So that's where I'm going with this. But the first step is to get the induction right, get the coil right. And yeah, so what we did today is, let me show you my math where we went on this thing. First we started out with 8 meters, and then I added 2.7 meters, and then I took off 0.36 meters, 0.32 meters, and took off another 0.33 meters. So roughly I took off another meter. So it was about 8 plus 1.7, roughly speaking. And that got us down to where we need to be. So, yeah, this is, looks like it's going to be a pretty workable coil, very small. And now I need to add some secondary coils to here and hook up a capacitor or some way of changing the inductance. And I will have a very small crystal radio. Okay, so this does work as a good inductor, and yeah, we'll go from here. Okay, hope you found that useful and interesting in your DIY crystal radio experimentation.